Watching the NBA playoff preview show here. Mean Streets presented by So Rare. Let's get after this one right away. Let's get right into it. This is the closest series according to Vegas. Memphis at minus 140 to win the series via DraftKings, and the Lakers at plus 120. I mean, some of these numbers, I suppose they could be a little skewed. LeBron missed a bunch of time. AD missed a bunch of time. And then on the Memphis side, of course, like Morant was away from the Grizzlies for a little bit. That's when I thought Memphis would kind of falter, Zach. Like, that's when I was thinking as a Mavs guy. I was like, all right, Ja's got some things to kind of figure out. He's going to be away from the team for a little bit. Dallas had a back-to-back against Memphis without Ja. They lost both of those games. They couldn't find a way to win, and Memphis continued to win, and it just goes to show, I think, some of the depth that this squad does have. I think it's the toughest one to call. What do you think, man? Who do you lean here?
Yeah, this is certainly the toughest first round series for me as well. Although I will say, not as surprised at the Grizzlies being able to tread water without Ja Morant, because we saw that they were actually better from a record standpoint last year. I'm certainly not suggesting that the Grizzlies without Ja Morant are a better team, but I believe they were 22-4 without him last season. So we've seen that depth, come through for them before. I mean, I still think Tyus Jones is probably the best backup point guard in the league between he, Malcolm Brogdon, maybe Emmanuel Quickley there in New York. But Tyus Jones has been a stalwart in terms of the elite backup point guards in this league. I'm really looking at what can this makeshift front court after Triple J, because obviously Jaren Jackson Jr., my shout for Defensive Player of the Year, Evan Mobley, Brook Lopez, both deserving. And I won't have any arguments if they do win it, but I think Triple J, once he got healthy from that injury that he sustained in the offseason, he was fantastic and took this team to another level on that end of the floor. But now no Steven Adams, Brandon Clark, torn Achilles. So now we're counting on guys like Xavier Tillman, Santi Aldama to fill in those minutes here in the playoffs. And I think that's where the Grizzlies are going to come up short. Whether it's the first or the second round, I don't see them getting past a second round matchup against what I think is going to be Golden State. In this series right now, I am leaning Lakers in 7. And I think it's just respect to the King and Anthony Davis. I think, obviously, Ja Morant, fantastic player. I think the Lakers still have the two best players on the court in this series. Past that, it is clearly advantage Memphis, and we saw that not just throughout the regular season, but in that one-game sample against Minnesota, who was down 2 starters, and for all intents and purposes, down 3 starters because Anthony Edwards no-showed on Tuesday, and they still almost won. I just think some of the Lakers banter that I've seen, and it comes with the territory when you are a franchise with the history like the Lakers, but the shouts that they can win the West or even the finals is just ludicrous to me. So I'm not surprised if the Grizzlies do pull off the series win here, but I do think it's too close to call for me. So again, this is one of these series that I would bet game by game, and I am leaning that it goes 7 regardless, and I'll give the nod to, arguably the greatest player of all time, but certainly top 2, and LeBron James still doing it at an incredibly high level at age 38. But I think this is the series I'm most excited to watch, and I think maybe that's kind of the chalk pick in terms of the series we're all most excited for.
Yeah, I mean, whether you like LeBron or not, you got to respect him, man. At this age, what he is doing, and put the crown on the other day. I'm a LeBron fan. It's a combo for another day between him and Jordan, but I certainly am a LeBron fan. I don't know if this Lakers team can, like you said, could go on a run. I wouldn't expect them to go too deep into the playoffs, but
There's not enough shooting. There's not enough shooting, nor do they shoot enough threes. Like, if you're relying on D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves to be your like Austin Reeves, percentage-wise, great this year, but can he do it at the volume that I think any good team and good coaching staff on the other side, you're going to force guys like Austin Reeves, like Rui Hachimura and Dennis Schroeder to beat you. And none of those names that I just listed are striking fear in the hearts of any opposing fan. So again, in this particular matchup, Anthony Davis has to be able to win his matchup against Jaren Jackson and absolutely dominate Xavier Tillman or Santi Aldama or whoever they're going to try to stop him with. If he doesn't, and he's just mediocre and not playing at that, top 10 player in the league type of level that we know he has, the Lakers are in trouble. But again, I do think they sneak this series win, and then I think they get beat in the second round by the Warriors.
Schroeder with that 3 the other night. He's just like ice in the vein. LeBron was doing it right behind. It was just a jokes picture of both of them. Just
Yeah.
love it. It was great. Schroeder hit that shot. He said that he had missed a shot at the earlier in the season at that exact point when LeBron kicked it out to him, and he's like, I got to make this one for the King. Plus 175 for that series to go 7 games. Kind of interested, right? It might be back and forth, and then as you saw on the board, plus 120 for the Lakers there.